What is good, basketball enthusiasts, Trill followers, and most importantly, Laker fans? It is a W in Lakerland today because just an hour ago, it has been announced that Russell Westbrook has been dealt. He has been traded ahead of the deadline. It is a 3-team trade involving the Lakers, Utah Jazz, and the Timberwolves. Now, the Lakers have agreed to a deal to land D-Lo. Yes, D'Angelo Russell is coming back to Lakerland, Malik Beasley, and Jarred Vanderbilt in a 3-team trade that involves Utah and, like I said, Minnesota, because we're getting the Minnesota players. Russell Westbrook is being sent to Utah, while the Timberwolves are getting Mike Conley and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The Jazz, they also receive Juan Toscano-Anderson, Damian Jones, and a lightly protected 2027 Lakers first-round pick. You know, the pick we didn't want to give up at all. D'Lo, 26-year-old, is coming back to a Lakers uniform, seemingly more in his prime, more developed than he was with us. Of course, we drafted him fresh out of college, so he was a raw player. But this year he is averaging a solid 18 points per game, 6.2 assists, and he's shooting 46.5% from the field, including 39% from three. Now, the Timberwolves have had a rocky start to the season. D'Lo has made it clear that he wanted out very early into the season. Cat has been injured since November, and D'Lo has been sort of the guy to help steady the ship alongside Anthony Edwards, but he did make it clear that he did not like his role, what's going on in Minnesota, and he wanted out. This year he is shooting a career high in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage. He's also finishing at an elite rate, 64% at the rim. Now, of course, like I said, and as we all know, this is going to be D'Lo's second stint with the Lakers. There has been some flirtation with getting D'Lo back in the Lakers uniform the last couple years when it comes to the trade deadline and the Lakers making moves at the trade deadline. So I'm not going to talk so much about D'Lo. We already know what he brings to the table. We've seen him develop over the years, and as a Laker fan myself, he is included in those group of guys that I feel like we regret letting go way too early. The other two guys we did get is Jarred Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley. Now, these are two guys that I think can help us immensely, a lot. I love Malik Beasley because he can shoot very well and he can take you off the dribble. He can guard the guards very well. Same with Jarred Vanderbilt. He's a very good defender, and he's sneaky athletic. He can shoot okay, not the best shooter, but he can develop that as time goes, and he's going to, because he's going to get plenty of shots with LeBron being on the floor. One thing that I like about this is it does take Patrick Beverley out of the starting lineup. It looks like D'Lo will probably be the starting shooting guard alongside Dennis Schroeder. Then you got LeBron, Rui Hachimura, and then as it stands right now, you have Thomas Bryant. If AD is regularly in the lineup, of course AD is the starter at the 5 more than likely. Now, I would like it more if AD is at the 4, Thomas Bryant starts at 5, and Rui Hachimura comes off the bench, but I'm not the coach. I'm not Darvin Ham. I'm just saying what I'd rather it look like if I'm watching my Lakers play. Now, I'm sure we're bringing in Vanderbilt more so for length and defensive purposes, as he's a 6'9", 214-pound power forward. In his last 5 games, he's only averaging 5 points per game, which is okay because he's bringing on 7 boards per game. He's not the best free throw shooter, as he's shooting 41% in the last 10 games, and he, again, like I said, doesn't shoot too well from 3, but that's why we got Malik Beasley. He is averaging a smooth 13 points per game this season, 3 rebounds and 1 assist, and his true shooting percentage is a 53%. I love that the most out of any and all his stats, strictly because this Laker needs some efficiency added to this team. Efficiency has been missing. Russell Westbrook was part of that problem. Russell Westbrook is now gone. I love Russell Westbrook for who he was, who he is as a superstar and a player throughout his career. This is the final year of the extension that he signed back when he was with OKC. He has been in 5 teams in as many years, so he hasn't really been able to stick to a team. I say this as a Hoop fan above all else. I hope we do not remember Russell Westbrook for these last 2 years, and we do realize the talent Russell Westbrook was, and still continues to be. He came off the bench, so his production did dip a little bit, but I could argue that his production dipping makes sense because he lost those same minutes that he would have normally had. Now, I will say this, and the kind of era we're in terms of the media world, the social media world, and basketball and everything else, it's going to be tough for Russell Westbrook to prove himself and get back right. But as a basketball fan, we do know Russell Westbrook is a perennial talent, always has been that. It's just, you know, there's some things that work, some things that don't work, and lately it just hasn't worked out for him. I hope he does find a team that works out for him, that's perfect for him, and he could see the end of his career off into the sunset and have a happy goodbye. Of course, I think for Russell Westbrook, it'll be a happy goodbye no matter what. He's happy with life. He refused to be a statistic and made it to a place not many people make it. So overall, I think Russell Westbrook's happy with where Russell Westbrook is at, and that's all we could hope for. But it was not working out with the Lakers, as we all know. I don't believe it was the best move for the Lakers to go get Russ in the first place, because everybody else in the basketball world seemed to realize and know that it wouldn't have worked strictly because his play style clashes with too many players on our team. There's no reason to go get him, but we got him anyway. We tried the experiment, it failed, and we came out on top with a pretty good trade. Now, I would be lying if I said this trade satisfies me the most and this trade explodes us into contention. I would be lying if I said that, but I will say that this trade does help us. It makes us a better team. We have some better defenders going forward. We weren't too bad on defense, but we needed a couple guys just like this to help us. D'Lo, he's not the best defender, so I'm really not talking about him so much. D'Lo is more so help on the offensive end, whereas Malik Beasley, 3-and-D guy, and then Jarred Vanderbilt is just a straight up defensive guy. Let me know what you guys think about this trade. I think the Lakers came out with a dub by far, no question about it. Utah Jazz, I guess they're going into full rebuild mode. I guess they realize they're not going to be the top dogs in the West like they started the year out to be. Or they feel like they need Russ. I'm not sure what it is, because they do have shooters. Don't get me wrong. But that's all I got for you guys in this quick one. Until next time, it's your boy TB with the greatest hoop stories and debates on the tube. And as always, I'm out. Peace.